The first thing that I'm going to do is rename the first recording Mom's Story, which I should have done in the first place. But to do so, you simply click on the sprite, click on Sounds, and then retype the name. Okay, now that we have our 3 sprites with their tinting already set up, it's time to add some controls. We know that we want the tinting to start as soon as the project begins, but we also know that we need something to happen as soon as the sprite itself is clicked. So we need a when sprite clicked control. And we know that we want that to be a sound that plays as soon as that sprite is clicked. So we just need to select the appropriate sound for that sprite. Let's see how it sounds.
My mom is pretty quiet. She's a rather shy woman.
Okay, that works. We just have to do it for each sprite. Okay, so for the cabin, we need to get the control for when the project starts and get the control for when the sprite is clicked and get the associated sound so that the cabin's story plays. By the way, you can clean up your code by right-clicking in the gray area. So let's do that for everything, and we now have 3 sounds with 3 sprites. Okay, let's click the green flag and see how the project plays. You'll notice that I've added some ocean wave sounds. That sound was added directly to the stage, and I would like it to play continuously throughout my project. I'll click a tinted sprite.
This is a couple that my parents met when we were visiting Barcelona on vacation. And the couple...
That worked, but what happens if I click another sprite?
They pretty much adopted us. My mom is pretty quiet. They became a rather shy woman.
Uh-oh, both sprites are speaking at the same time. So whenever a sprite is clicked, it needs to know whether or not another sprite is speaking, and the best way to do that is with a variable. So I created a variable called story, and I've taken its initial value of 0 and attached that to my stage. Since I need a story value for each sprite, I'll make my mom 1, the couple 2, and the cabins 3. Since I already have the couple selected, let's start by making the couple story value 2. Grab the variable and type in a 2. We'll have to do this for the other 2 sprites. By the way, show variable is a very handy option under variables because it will display the value of a variable within a script while the script is running. Look in the upper left and watch the value of story change when I click on the couple's audio script. Look in the upper left of the stage.
This is a couple that my parents met when we were visiting.
Now, whenever a tinted sprite has been clicked, it will do 2 things. 1, it will set the value of the story variable to tell the project which sprite has been clicked, and 2, it will play the story for that sprite. And remember, whenever a sprite is clicked, it also needs to know if another sprite is already speaking to avoid having 2 sprites speaking at the same time. So really, 3 things need to happen when a tinted sprite is clicked. Besides setting the story value and playing its own audio, it also needs to be constantly checking to see if another tinted sprite has been clicked. Because if it has been clicked, then this one needs to be quiet to let the other one be heard. So let's add the control loop to do just that. We'll need a script to stop the current audio clip if another tinted sprite has been clicked. We'll do so by checking the value of the story variable. If it changed, it's time for this sprite to be quiet. This is an if conditional, so we'll use an if controller. The 2 most common controls in programming are loops and if-then statements. Ifs need to know what the condition is. Think of it as if what. In this case, it's if story equals 1 or story equals 3. Because this script sets the story value to 2, just as story gets set to 1 in the mom script and set to 3 in the cabin script. We use an operator to check the story value. Just fill in the blanks, if story equals 1 or story equals 3. Now we need the then part. If this conditional is true, then we want this sprite to be quiet. So let's turn the volume down. We can do that with a loop. And if the loop repeats about 10 times and we reduce the volume about -2 each time it passes through the loop, that should do the trick. Okay, this looks like it should work. And in some ways it does, but there is a problem. And the problem is I'm only checking this sprite once, exactly when that sprite is clicked, because a program does exactly what you tell it to do. The fact is, as long as this sprite's script is running, I need to be checking to see if any other sprites have been clicked. And to do that, I need a forever loop. Okay, let's give it a try. I'll click the couple.
This is a couple that my parents met when we were visiting Barcelona on vacation. My mom is pretty quiet. She's a rather shy woman. But the first day of our vacation, some Spanish people were having a birthday.
Hey, I'm clicking on the couple and I don't hear anything. What's going on? Oh yeah, I turned the volume down. That means when they're clicked, they also have to have code that says turn the volume up 100%.
This is a couple that my parents met when we were visiting Barcelona. My mom is pretty quiet. She's a rather shy woman. But the first day during this vacation, we stayed in cabins that were right on the beach, which I had never done before, so I thought it was really cool that in the morning... This is a couple that my parents met when we were... my mom is pretty quiet. She's a rather shy woman. But the first